So, as I was shuffling out the cards, one of the overwhelming message that I was getting for you, we have a lot of reverse cards, which, doesn't always signify a bad month. But I do feel that one of the major key words for this month for some of you is what's next? Where do I go from here? And it seems almost to me as if a few of you might be at the peak of your career and you're looking to branch out. You're looking for other opportunities that can bring a lot more emotional fulfillment in the way in which you're making your money. So I feel like, it's a very fortunate circumstance to be in. But I feel that, you're no longer emotionally fulfilled with your job. You could be, making money hand over fist. You could be quite successful. You could, also have quite a bit of power and prestige in your career front or in the work that you're doing. But it seems to me as if you're looking for a lot more out of life. You don't want to deal with the mundane, with the minutia of, the everyday work environment. And I feel that a lot of you are in a structure work setting where, everything is a little bit more procedural, a little bit more regimented. And you might also be in a supervisory or in a kind of like, at the peak of your career here with the Empress. And because you're at the peak, it's kind of difficult for you to advance any further. But at the same time, there are a lot of things in here that are indicating to me this is a month in which, things are going to flatline. It's you don't have like very severe highs and lows. You just have kind of like a steady pace and things are starting to settle. Everything is starting to solidify so that you can decide what's the next move that I need to take. If I'm maxed out at my career or my current job, where do I need to look for other opportunities? And I do feel one of the main things that you hadn't really thought about is doing multiple jobs at once. Okay, so like doing two jobs at once, for example. A lot of you are very, very structured in a way where you have a preconceived notion of how things are supposed to be. It's not that you're not open-minded to other opportunities, but you feel like work is supposed to be this way, relationship is supposed to be this way, family is supposed to be this way. So you have things neatly compartmentalized in a way that is rational and logical in your mind. However, I feel like the universe coming through with this spread is forcing you to branch out. It's forcing you to look at other avenues that you can make money that will bring you a lot more emotional satisfaction. Okay. And I'm sensing that some of you need to really, really, really take initiative and step out a bit outside of your comfort zone. I'm seeing a lot of fear, and the fear is more about like, a lot of it is more like emotional fears, fear of being in a new environment, starting something new and failing, fear of failure, and also some innate fears that are holding you back from really embracing life, living life to the fullest, and, being a little bit more spontaneous. So I feel like that's where some of you are holding yourself back. Okay. Um, if opportunities come in for this month, your instinctive, response should be, yes, I'll do it. And I feel like a lot of you might have turned down opportunities in the past that could have been really good for you, that would have provided, opportunities for growth, for getting to know yourself, for overcoming a lot of these irrational fears and phobias that you might have. And so coming through for this month, I do feel that, they're saying the opportunities will be around, especially for this year, because, it's a universal number 1 year, which brings a lot of new things. However, if we're operating from a place of fear and, status quo and not wanting to branch out and not feeling as if we are confident enough in ourselves in order to branch out, I feel like that's still a fear-based response, and it's something that you have to overcome. Okay, so say yes to opportunities, however minor they might come in for this month. All right. What I'm seeing here, and as soon as I pulled out this card, and this rules your ninth house, which indicates philosophies, higher education, travel. And as soon as this card came out, they're saying a spiritual journey. So I feel many of you are planning or are going to be taking a trip for this month. This might be something you've been planning for the last 3 months and you're finally ready. There's finally, a break in your work schedule, or there might be some type of contracts that haven't been finalized. And so you're taking a big journey. This is like overseas travel, waiting for that opportunity, something you have been planning for quite some time. And you finally get a chance to do it sometime in the month of March. I feel that you might be traveling with another person, and I'm seeing like, traveling with 3 people, or even traveling with another person to see another person, or traveling by yourself to see 2 other people. But I feel like you're going to be traveling with other people. For some of you, here's what I'm sensing. Um, if you are going away, and because it's if it's business related, and if it's related to like business partnerships, and especially contracts, okay, sending out, like signing contracts with another company, I feel like you're kind of I want to say like the contract situation, it will get finalized, but it's not going to be this month. So I feel like there's still some underhanded tactics that's being, I hear the word like outmaneuvered. So if you are traveling to a foreign land to secure some type of contract, for example, I feel like there are office politics, there are, like social norms associated with how contracts are being formed. So it's going to get dragged out. It's going to get drawn out for quite a few months before everything starts to clear up and before things get finalized. So the important thing here is, this is a trip that, because you're a very results oriented type of a person, you do A so that you can, achieve B. I feel like it's going to overturn your expectations a little bit, not in a bad way. And that's why they mention specifically it is a spiritual journey. So you feel like, okay, I'm just going to go there to get this done. But I feel like it's more about the process and not so much the results, okay? It's more about the process of being there, taking in the sights and the sounds and the culture, taking in, the experience of being in that environment, the anticipation for this negotiation, the anticipation of meeting people that are very different from you philosophically and ideologically. And so not only will you get a lot of insights into, how business is conducted, where those people are coming from, but you're also getting a perspective, in terms of like, hey, that's a great idea. I can, start doing business here, or I should start to do business this way, or what I've been doing in the past might not be the best way. So we're getting like the best practices coming through with this card here, where interactions with other people, especially outside of your norm, and especially foreigners, and especially people from overseas, is going to bring you with a lot of creative projects that are starting to solidify or gel, or they're going to, give you some really good insights, inspiration, and ideas that will allow you to switch gears, even do a 180 when it comes to your career, and see where you are going to start branching out. So I feel like everything is culminating, everything is bubbling to the surface. And once things bubble to the surface, it's going to take some time for us to run with these ideas. So I feel like for the next 3 months, then, that's going to be April, May, and June. Then you're going to go off on a specific idea and start to, manifest ideas, or manifest projects, or create new projects for yourself. This is a very hands-on type of card, and it does require some patience and some waiting on other people. But I do feel ultimately you're getting some great insights into new business ventures, new business ideas that you can. So the change is very internal. It is a spiritual journey. There will be a lot of growth, a lot of wisdom, a lot of insights that can be had in the process of going through the journey. Don't rush it. Don't rush the negotiations. Let things play out in its natural time. And I feel that you can affect the outcome in a positive way if you take a step back rather than pushing forward. Okay, rather than claiming your territory, putting your stake in the sand, take a more relaxed approach. Things will come as they may, and they're supposed to play out exactly the way that they're meant to play out. So take it easy for this month and don't push specific agendas, okay? For others of you, I just see a lot of travels that are coming through for you. A lot of you might have finished up major projects, and you're kind of like, sitting back, no longer inundated with a lot of responsibilities like work, like, family obligations, like the everyday things that you have to do in order to sustain yourself. I feel like you are coming out of a big phase of heavy burden and responsibility. It is lifting for you for this month. So it might have started, as early as February, but it is going to be over and done with. And everything that you've worked really hard for, it's now time to kind of take it easy, sit back, and figure out the next phase in your life, okay? Going back to the message where I mentioned that, so actually going back to this, so if that were the case for you, you now have a lot of free time, and you might be sitting around like twiddling your thumb, like, what do I do now? Where can I apply my skills? And it makes you really uncomfortable, because you're very end result oriented. To sit idle, it makes you really uncomfortable. You're highly functional, highly productive. And so for you to sit still and relax, you can't really do it in a manner that is appropriate. So for those taking this trip, it is going to be a very spiritual journey. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn about where you stand in the world. And I do feel as well, you're going to learn you're going to learn about where you're meant to be and what you're meant to do. Okay. So a lot of awakening is happening in this month. And I feel like some of you, there's a lot of responsibilities within the home environment, and you might not know how to approach it because everything is was hitting you so fast. And now that things are starting to kind of lull, or there's this empty, a lot of time that needs to be filled up right now, because this month it's a lot about relaxation. So now that you have the free time, it's really important for you to, start the blueprint for the next phase of your life. Okay. And I say that like it's a very easy thing to do. However, I feel like for you, you might not know where to go. So going back to, working professionals, I feel like your work environment, it pays the bills. You've got like, a nice office. You're in a position where you could be supervising people, teaching people, providing a lot of guidance for people, like in a mentorship capacity. And I also feel like because you're in this position, you want to have a lot of control over how you do your work, how things are being implemented, how things are being brought to fruition, who's accountable and who's doing their job and who's not. You want to be fair, you want to be just, and you want to have a lot of say over, how things are being conducted. For whatever reason, I feel like because of it, you're working in a very structural environment where you might not have like a clear say in how things are done. So I'm inclined to believe that, you work in like a big company and there are procedures in place that you can't override. And it can feel a little bit frustrating. And then for others of you in the income front as well, you might be, it can go one of two ways. I feel that you want a job that pays a lot more. Or right now you're at a job where you feel like you can't be able to affect outcomes. So on the one hand, I do see a lot of financial abundance overall because, no news in this, like none of the cards represent pentacles. So no news overall is generally a good thing. Okay. So I feel like finances are not the major concern here. It's just how proud you are of the work that you are doing, how happy you are, how content you are. And I feel like because you're not able to affect the change that that you want in the work environment, you might not be 100% emotionally content with the work that you're currently doing right now. Some of you might be in the helping profession. So I'm seeing teachers, social worker. I'm seeing a lot of people in the court system as well. It could be, like a paralegal, even a lawyer. And even, a judge, magistrate, or somebody working in conjunction with the legal system. And I'm seeing that, there might be situations where you encounter some injustices and you might really empathize and truly like sympathize with the people that are involved in it. So you push yourself to try to help. You push yourself to right some wrongs, and I feel that the emotional toll as well, it's affecting you. So if you are working in a capacity where you see some type of social injustice, it really pushes you to try to do more. And you're trying to figure out, how can I do more given the constraints of my job? How can I do more given, all the obligations that I have to fulfill for myself? And so drawing clear boundaries about where you end and where others begin, that's going to be a little bit important on the emotional front. So don't take on other people's emotional burdens as if they were your own, okay? And this is just a key thing when thinking about it. Yes, these, the humanitarian in us wants to help, but we need to understand logically what's the best way for us to apply our skills so that we can achieve the results that we want without I guess like it's more of a concerted effort rather than a lone wolf approach. And I feel for this month, you might realize that you need other people on board to do the same projects because you as one person, I don't feel that you can do it alone. Okay. Not that you're not capable, but I feel like in order to build something sustainable, long lasting, impactful, we're just one person. And so you're going to have to start either training people, gathering people to fight the same cause, or to implement some type of big major projects where you feel it can have a lot of results and uplift a lot of people. So that's what I'm seeing here in this spread. And I feel like you might be stuck. You don't know how to go about it. And taking a little bit of time off to for rest and restoration is important. But I feel like the time off is going to be a spiritual journey where all the pieces will start falling into place and you get to see the big picture. Okay. In terms of your family situation, let me just say this. A lot of you are doing like family planning or redecorating your house or doing some type of overhauling your environment. I see a lot of people setting up like nurseries. I see a lot of people setting like painting their rooms, like repainting a room, decorating, doing a lot of little home projects here and there, whatever projects that you didn't have enough time for. I feel like you're picking them back up and you're getting them finished once and for all. So I feel like, the energy is a little bit unsettling because a lot of things are still happening, even though like cosmetic changes are still happening, little things are still happening in your environment. And they're telling you to just relax, take it easy, because I feel like you have all the time now. And so you're trying to accomplish everything, and it irks you when things are kind of like left unfinished. So I feel like you're just looking for things to do. You're just looking for things to do. And so the best thing to do is to relax, okay? Do some meditation because I feel like there might be some very, very high strung Virgos. I'm seeing that energy here, where if you have a moment of rest, you feel guilty. Where if you're sitting there idle, you feel restless. So just be careful of this energy. You need some proper rest and restoration, okay? You need like to do guilty pleasure activities. And, just sitting there watching TV for a few hours, guilty pleasure things, and don't beat yourself over it. Just take it easy this month, okay? So going back to your relationship sector here, what I'm feeling is this. We have here the Judgment card in the reverse position. So first of all, the message I was getting here is some health issues affecting the relationship. Health issues could be coming in from a partner, from you, or even from the family unit. And I'm seeing a lot more family situation. Health problems, especially from your family or the love relationships, your significant other's family. that might have somebody, feeling quite emotionally distraught. And so I feel like that's a major stressor in the relationship, okay, for those of you in stable relationships. And I'm sensing that I just see a lot of you are like sending text messages back and forth between in-laws, between family members, and things like that, just to make sure how the diagnostics went, how the what was the prognosis, how was the doctor's visit, how was the dental visit, like things like that, little minor things. It could be bigger, but I feel like a lot of text messages back and forth regarding health issues. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling in your relationships. For those of you who have recently ended a relationship, and recent being, the past 6 months, I feel that you're still in the mourning stages of that relationship. You're still kind of like on the tail end of that mourning stage. And you want to be left alone. You don't really want to go out and socialize. And I feel like you might have a few people coaxing you to go out and socialize, okay? But, oh, and also if you have people coaxing you to go out and socialize, if you even have like, romantic interests, kind of calling out you out of your shell, definitely do it. I feel that it's going to be very good for your mental health. It's going to be good for you emotionally as well. And it's just good for you. You might feel like you want to be alone, but it's actually really good for you to be with people right now. And you might not realize that. That's the thing, because you want to be productive. You want to, I feel like, especially for those of you who have recently broken up with somebody, you're still not putting yourself out there just yet. And so I feel like the opportunities for dating, flirtations, and things like that, and, just social outing, they're in the picture, but you're not really wanting to go there just yet, okay? In terms of housing situation, again, I feel like there might be some remodeling, some very, very minor cosmetic changes that are coming through. With the tower in the reverse, it usually indicates to me like renovations, okay? But this is more like major renovations. When it shows up in the reverse, it's usually something cosmetic, something that has been lingering. You were going to get around to it, but you might have been busy in the past. So now that you have some time, you're going to get around to it. But I feel like these are things that you're no longer, because of the time, it has dragged on for so long, you no longer feel the urgent need for it. So you're going to pick and choose what projects to work on. The important thing here is, Virgo, it's going to be a little bit of a slow month. You have a lot of time. Do some guilty pleasure activities, because I feel like you're going to derive a lot of joy from it. Surround yourself with a lot more people. All the cards are very solitary. Surround yourself with a lot more people, because I feel like you need the interaction, and you need to surround yourself with people that you can have like, very intelligent, engaging, thought-provoking, profound, and meaningful conversations with. And you might have some people soliciting you to go out, but they might be, you don't want superficial conversations. You might be turning down these offers. You want something a little bit more real and a little bit more profound. And you want more of an intellectual debate rather than like an emotional discussion with another person too. So overall, it's slow, but it's definitely manageable. Okay. It's a little bit more of a slow month. So the major theme here is, taking time off for yourself, do some reflecting. And I do feel, taking a trip this month is going to be very good for you. It's going to solidify some major plans for you guys, okay?